Have you ever sat at your desk, scrolling through your phone during lunch break, and stumbled across a story of someone who, at least in your opinion, isn't exactly, well, a genius, yet they're buying mansions, flying private jets, and posting selfies from yachts? You look at your bank account, see enough for rent, groceries, and maybe a pizza if you skip lunch tomorrow, and you can't help but ask, how is this possible? I work harder, I'm smarter, so why are they winning? It's a frustrating question. And here's the truth. Jack Ma often shares the world does not reward the smartest person in the room. It rewards the person who acts, adapts, and dares. Jack Ma himself is living proof. He failed his university entrance exam twice. He got rejected from 30 jobs, including one at KFC. He even admits he wasn't the most intelligent student in school. And yet, he became one of the richest men in the world. If you find this interesting and would love to know why, do well to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful nuggets on wealth creation. Don't also forget to turn on the notification bell icon so you never miss a video. Now let's break it down. Reason 1, they don't know what they don't know, and that's their superpower. There's a strange twist in human nature. The less we know about something, the more confident we often feel about doing it. Psychologists call it the Dunning-Kruger effect, but Jack Ma would put it more simply: don't let your knowledge become your prison. Too much analysis makes you miss the train. Think about it. Most smart people want a perfect plan before they start anything. They research for weeks. They compare every possible outcome. They open 43 browser tabs, watch 27 YouTube tutorials, and by the time they're ready to take the first step, the opportunity has already passed. Meanwhile, the so-called dumb person sees the same opportunity and says, "Looks interesting, let's try it." They jump in, they learn as they go, they make mistakes, yes, but they're moving forward while everyone else is still thinking about it. Jack Ma built Alibaba with this same mindset. When people told him e-commerce in China would never work, he didn't spend years trying to prove them wrong with a research paper. He simply started. He once said, "If you don't try, you'll never have a chance. If you try, at least you have the possibility of success." The lesson: don't overcomplicate your first step. Smart people often bury their dreams under a mountain of what-ifs. Meanwhile, those who simply act, even if they start with less knowledge, give themselves a head start. Reason 2, they see risk differently. Most people think intelligence means you avoid risk, but Jack Ma believes the opposite. In business, you must take risks. Without risk, there is no reward. Here's the catch. Smart people often overestimate risk. They imagine every possible disaster. They calculate every way it could fail. Their risk radar is so sensitive that it stops them from even trying. Jack Ma once explained it like this: if you are too afraid of failure, you will never start. You will never be brave enough to step forward when others hesitate. In prehistoric times, this overcautious thinking probably saved lives. If you heard rustling in the bushes, the smart thing to do was run, because it could be a tiger. But in today's world, the tiger is usually just a small business investment, a side hustle, a new idea, the so-called dumb person. They underestimate the risk. They think, what's the worst that could happen? And when the worst happens, they learn, adjust, and try again. That's why Jack Ma says today is hard, tomorrow is harder, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow night. In other words, the people who succeed aren't always the ones who are the smartest. They're the ones willing to endure the uncertainty and survive long enough to see success. The takeaway from Jack Ma's life is simple. Don't wait until you know everything, because you never will. See risk as a teacher, not a monster. Move fast enough to catch the opportunity before it moves past you. Because in the real world, the fortune doesn't always go to the one who has the best plan, but to the one who dared to start before the plan was perfect. Be honest. What's one risk you wish you'd taken earlier in life? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading them all, and your answer might be the exact wake-up call someone else needs today. If you've ever caught yourself overthinking so much that you missed an opportunity, hit that like button so I know I'm not the only one. And subscribe, because in the next lesson, I'm going to share a truth that will make you rethink every safe choice you've ever made. Reason 3. They're not afraid to look foolish. One thing Jack Ma often says is you want to be successful, you must learn to accept rejection, embarrassment, and failure. But here's the problem. For many smart people, the idea of looking stupid in front of others is terrifying. Why? Because for most of their lives, they've been praised as the smart one. Teachers celebrated their grades, friends turned to them for answers, family bragged about them at every reunion. Over time, being right became part of their identity. And when your identity is built on always being right, you'll avoid situations where you could be wrong, even if those situations are the very opportunities that could change your life. Jack Ma wasn't the smart one. In fact, he failed his middle school entrance exam twice, and his university entrance exam also twice. His teachers never saw him as a genius. His job applications were rejected over 30 times, even by KFC. But here's the funny thing, because nobody expected much from him, he had nothing to lose. When people underestimate you, you can take risks without the crushing fear of disappointing them. And when you fail, nobody says, "I can't believe you messed up." They just say, "Oh well, we didn't think you'd make it anyway." That freedom, the freedom from needing to look perfect, is a powerful advantage. What Jack Ma would tell you to do about it? If you're smart and want to catch up, Jack Ma's lessons boil down to 3 big moves. The first is, adopt a B+ mentality. Jack Ma often says, don't worry about being the best. Be the first to start, and then improve along the way. Imagine 2 people standing at the bottom of a mountain. One is smart, one is not so smart. The smart person spreads out a detailed map, checks the weather, studies climbing techniques, compares the weight of different hiking boots, and waits for the perfect time. The not-so-smart person just starts climbing. They trip, they take a wrong path, they get scratched by bushes, but they keep moving, and before you know it, they're halfway up the mountain, while the smart one is still choosing socks. In business and life, perfection is just procrastination in disguise. Jack Ma built Alibaba through trial and error, not by waiting for a flawless plan. Start with good enough, then let action teach you what you need to know. Quick gut check. Have you been chasing perfection so hard that it stopped you from even starting? Type B+ in the comments if you're ready to drop the pressure, take action, and finally move forward. I'll be watching for you. The second is, find your comparative advantage. Not everyone should be an entrepreneur. Jack Ma says, some people are suited to start companies, others are better as great employees. Both can become rich. Your job is to figure out what you can do better than most people, and focus relentlessly on that. A world-class plumber can earn more than a mediocre lawyer. A brilliant sales manager in the right company can build more wealth than a failed startup founder. The key is self-awareness. Jack Ma often reminds young people, you cannot be good at everything. Focus on your strength, and surround yourself with people who can do what you can't. And the last but not the least is, choose the pain that hurts less in the long run. Jack Ma frames it simply, life is a choice between 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. When he started Alibaba, he knew 2 things. If he stayed where he was, he would suffer the pain of never knowing what could have been. If he left to build something, he would suffer the pain of risk, criticism, and possible failure. Both options hurt, but one pain is temporary, the other can last a lifetime. When you face a big decision, ask yourself, which pain will hurt me more in 10 years? If it's the pain of regret, take the leap, because at worst you'll fail and end up right back where you started. But at least you'll have tried. The richest opportunities rarely go to the smartest people. They go to the ones willing to act before they're ready. Leverage their strengths instead of imitating others. Take the kind of risks most people overthink into oblivion. As Jack Ma puts it, we're not born to be perfect. We're born to try. If you've made it this far, you're already different from 90% of people, because most quit halfway through anything that could change their life. But here's the truth. Watching a lesson is not the same as living it. The gap between knowing and doing is where dreams rot. Don't let this just be another inspiring video you forget tomorrow. Let this be the turning point where you stop wishing and start moving. Because no one is coming to save you. It's your job to save yourself. Before you click away, drop one powerful sentence in the comments. What's the one change you're making starting today? I'm reading every single one. And if yours is real, raw and comes from the heart, you'll see a heart from me. If this hit you in the gut, smash that like button so the algorithm pushes it to someone else who needs this wake-up call. And subscribe. Not because I said so, but because the next lesson could be the one that flips your entire financial life upside down in the best way possible. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you.